Hello, this is Socially Triggered, and this video is going to be on Ben Shapiro's recent appearance on BBC News. I think it shows a flaw that I've seen before in Ben Shapiro. I saw it when Charlottesville happened. Instead of being objective, Ben Shapiro, when he gets emotional, he doesn't really see the rationality or he doesn't understand the situations that happen. So, for example, in Charlottesville, when he heard that there was Nazis there, he didn't look at the objective statements that Trump made. Trump made a statement that there was fine people on both sides, and he condemned the Nazis. But when Ben Shapiro did a commentary on it, he was so focused on the fact that there was Nazis at Charlottesville that he ignored the huge number of non-Nazis and good people that were there just to protect the statues and American history. So Ben Shapiro loses his objectiveness when he gets triggered on things that either attack his Judaism or his stance on abortion. He's very pro-life, and when something attacks his pro-life stance, he gets very, very agitated and he loses all sense of objectivity. So I'm going to play a clip from the BBC. Hopefully I won't get this video banned because of that, but I'm going to be using it in fair use. So please, YouTube, understand that this is in fair use. And I hope that it shows the kind of Achilles heel that exists in Ben Shapiro, that he doesn't maintain his objectivity when he is attacked on either his Judaism or his pro-life stance. That if you mention something where it kind of makes it look like he's being barbaric in having those stances, then you can really use that against him and he becomes emotional rather than rational. So let's play the clip and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Some of the ideas that are popular in your side of politics would seem to take us back to the Dark Ages, Georgia, new abortion laws, which you are much in favor of, that a woman who miscarries could get 30 years. A Georgian woman who travels to another state for an abortion procedure could get 10 years. These are extreme hard policies.
Well, okay, a couple of things. One, I'm not sure. I mean, frankly, I don't know whether are you an objective journalist or are you an opinion journalist?
I'm a journalist that asks questions.
Okay, so you're a supposedly objective journalist calling policies with which you disagree barbaric and suggesting only one side of the political aisle has ideas. So I just want to point out that I wish you would at least be honest in your own biases.
Mr. Shapiro, I know that broadcasting in America is now so polarized that on one program you only have the left and another one you just have the right. My job is to question those who have strong views and put an alternative to them. If you were an anti-abortion person, I would be putting pro-abortion questions to you. But you are
really would you call the pro-choice position?
So why don't you just answer my question,
sir? I'm happy to answer your question. Please answer this one. Would you suggest that a late-term abortion is brutal?
I'm not taking a view on this issue. I'm asking you the questions.
Sir, you just suggested the pro-life position is inherently brutal and terrible, so I'm asking you, as an objective journalist, would you ask the same question to a pro-choice advocate by calling their position brutal and horrible?
What I'm asking you is that why is it that a bill banning abortions after a woman has been pregnant for 6 weeks is not a return to the Dark Ages? What's your answer?
My answer is something called science. Human life exists at conception. It ought to be protected. Now, back to my question to you. You purport to be an objective journalist. BBC purports to be an objective down-the-middle network. It obviously is not. It never has been. And you as a journalist are proceeding to call one side of the political aisle ignorant, barbaric, and sending us back to the Dark Ages. Why don't you just say that you're on the left? Is this so hard for you? Why can't you just be honest? Seriously, it's a serious question.
Mr. Shapiro, if you only knew how ridiculous that statement is, you wouldn't have said it. So let's move on.
So yeah, I mean, that was a really ridiculous thing that Ben Shapiro just said there. He basically used an ad hominem attack or said that if you're on the left, you can't have a rational view as an argument. That's not an argument. Ben really lost it. He lost his focus. He lost his objectivity. He's so focused on the pro-life thing that he didn't understand that the journalist was asking legitimate questions. The policies that are happening in Georgia are older and kind of barbaric. They're maybe too extreme. Ben should have commented on those, either that he's not familiar with those policies or that give some rationale to why they aren't barbaric. Instead, he saw it as an ad hominem attack on himself, on his beliefs, and lost his ability to rationally debate those beliefs. The reporter was totally in his right to ask legitimate questions, and he didn't show any bias either way. Now the debate, the interview goes on a little bit longer than this. It actually goes for another 10 minutes. But Ben Shapiro just keeps on going back to that one comment that brings us back to the Stone Age, and he never really keeps his focus throughout the interview. And it really shows the Achilles heel of Ben Shapiro. And in the end, Ben Shapiro actually walks out of the interview. He later, to Ben's credit, he apologized and basically said that he was beaten in this interview because Ben Shapiro comes from America. In the United States, when people interview, and it's been a problem with the media really as of late, that there's not a proper interview process that happens. Nowadays, it's more like the interviewer is really trying to push a narrative. And this is really true in the US, that they really try to push a narrative and they ask questions in order to really show their narrative. The good example of this was actually Jordan Peterson, any Jordan Peterson interviews, where they push an agenda rather than really listening or understanding what Jordan Peterson is saying. Well, Ben came into this interview with that sort of mentality that he was going to be attacked, rather than just seeing it as an interview where he could get his opinions known, make people aware of the positive reasons for why he thinks the things he does. So this is a true journalist, interviewer that did a really good job of exposing Ben's weakness. So Ben Shapiro really failed on this one. At least he owned up to it at the end, but he's got to be more careful. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd like to hear your comments below. Tell me if you feel that Ben Shapiro did a good job or bad job defending his case. And I recommend you watch the full interview between Ben Shapiro and the BBC News. I will link to it in the description. So thank you for listening.